Hey everyone, welcome back to the YTP Mini. I'm Jess. I'm here with Coach Beej, and we are at Steady State Coffee, and we are about to dive into your Indian Wells 70.3 experience. And I want to get right to it because word on the street is it wasn't your day.
It wasn't.
And when somebody looks at a half Ironman time of 4:46, top 20 in their age group, on a super fast day, they would say, how is that not your day? So how did it go? Why was it not your day?
You know, a few things happened throughout the day, but let me just preface that by the lead up into the race. I was really focused and had confidence that I was building on the fitness I had from Santa Cruz into this race. Did a 10K 2 weeks ago and really felt good. But actually that was a sign that, I thought I could run faster at that 10K. And you're probably saying the same thing, like you came in top, 5th overall and then won your age group, but I know I can run faster. So that led into this Indian Wells race, which, I had podium goals. I was using that hashtag a lot, kind of manifesting. And leading into the race, everything was working well. Training was good and felt strong and calm and hitting some good times. But, race day was a different story. Race day, just the body, to keep it simple, like the body just didn't show up. It wasn't there for me. I didn't have that quick twitch spark that I normally have on race morning. My mindset was strong. I was ready to go. But soon, I would say 5 to 10 miles into the bike, I knew pretty well, like this body was not going to be primed.
So, but this was a surprise.
Oh, yeah, it was a big surprise.
Because even the night before, you were feeling good.
Yeah, everything leading up to the race.
You were feeling confident that you had a very good chance that you were going to win your age group.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So this was a surprise.
This is a surprise.
Surprise! And when you say that the body didn't show up, I know you said you didn't have that like fire, but was there anything in particular that was showing up that was inhibiting you from really putting out the power? And
yeah, absolutely. My left glute, which has been symptomatic in the past, and I recall Cozumel in 2015 as the last. I wouldn't say the last time, but I remember it being pretty dramatic there where you're just trying to turn over the pedals in aero and there's just no activation. And it's really something I've been working on with Dave, our strength and mobility coach. And I've been doing the exercises, and this just goes to show, like, no matter what you do, it's not a guarantee, right? You need to show up and see what is presented on race day. And this could have totally gone the other way. Absolutely.
Well, and the interesting thing is that you were 2 minutes off your Santa Cruz time, and in Santa Cruz that was a podium time. Indian Wells, it was top 20. Mm-hmm. So you never know.
And here's the other thing.
Every single race is different.
Oh, so different. I didn't run 3 or 4 weeks leading into Santa Cruz, and I ran a 1:36.
And as everyone knows, you forgot your salt at Santa Cruz.
Right. That video.
The classic video.
And I ran a 1:36 on Sunday at Indian Wells with run training, 20 to 30 miles a week. So, I'm human, and I give myself about 24 hours to kind of dissect it and understand, like, what if I didn't do any run training? Would I still run a 1:36 again and again and again, and then focus on the bike and the run? So, yeah, I do have those thoughts. I'm human, but I don't attach to them, and I know that it's just the mind looking for a reason why, right? When it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's really what just happened on the day, and I choose. This is what I see from this experience: is I choose to continue to move forward, and not attach to this race or results or anything that's happened.
So, was there a time that you were shooting for?
Definitely 4:29.
4:29, mm-hmm. And what would 4:29 have? Where would that have placed you?
Top 3.
Top 3. Mm-hmm. And your goal was New Zealand, essentially. Mm-hmm. Your goal is New Zealand.
Yeah, the World Championships.
And the interesting thing about this race is that, in Santa Cruz, the top guy just owned that race. I think you were like 30 minutes off first place in Santa Cruz. You still ended up like 5th place, right? Was it 5th place? Yeah. And this race was really interesting and exciting to watch because you guys were all within 7 minutes of each other throughout the day. And I was like, 7 minutes is nothing. I'm looking at this in the first 10 miles of the bike. I'm like, this is nothing. Anything can happen. But it was interesting because there wasn't a lot of movement. Everybody kind of held where they were. And so, again, I mean, it's just anything can happen. And it's just fun to watch the metrics of the race play out. And also, for me, what's really cool now is that my go-to, like my automatic pilot is, I see you come out of the swim top 15. I'm like, great. Now he's going to break top 10, then he's going to break top 5, and then he's going to be podium. So that's like my go-to. Whereas I think, well, I know in the past it was like, oh my God, keep going. Like I'd be worried. I would be doubting your physical fitness in the past. But I know you have what it takes. We know you have what it takes. You've already qualified for 70.3 Worlds. You have been on the podium. You are there. It's just that day is still manifesting.
Absolutely, it'll come. So I can stop doing the work and saying like it's not going to happen, right? I could just stop it, or I can keep going, waiting for that opportunity to come. The opportunity is going to be there.
So you're talking about continuing your momentum.
Yes.
How important is that?
I just did a video on our team page about it. Momentum is everything. Everything. After the race, the next day. Well, actually, after the race, I walked all over the place. I waited for our athlete to finish and then walked home, which was 2 miles away to the Airbnb. And then the next day, went for a recovery ride with Ben, our athlete, recovery ride. And I've been doing strength and walking with Clark and keeping things moving. For me to just sit down and let things, settle is not my MO. Momentum is super important. I've created a lot of momentum this year.
So you're talking about, you're speaking specifically to like physical momentum.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it energetically in the universe to show up and keep things moving?
Well, you're just aligning with the energies that are out there. So your energy needs to match, in my opinion, what you want to achieve.
So alignment.
So if I stop my energy flow because I'm going to hang my hat on Santa Cruz, okay, great, I got a 5th place finish, awesome, I'm good, like I'll move on.
Oh, good enough. Oh, I think that's worse than like not enough. It's right. Just good enough. I really do.
Yeah, I don't want to be good enough.
No, like it's good enough. I'm doing enough. Ugh. I think that's such a trap because it's so freaking sneaky. At least when you're like not enough, you're just like, I'm a piece of crap, and that's that. But when you're just good enough, it's like the mind is tricking you into you're good enough, but we don't have to go for that big success.
You're ticking the boxes in the training plan.
It's gross. Right? It's like weak coffee. It's like weak coffee. So okay, I've heard you say a couple times, and I've been waiting. You guys, I'm really, really getting skillful at being a wife. I've been wanting to know. I've heard you say a couple times that you got caught up with things. What does that mean? What did you get caught up in?
I really got caught up on the bike. I really got caught up in the strategy on the bike. And what I mean by that is, with a flat bike, you get drafting. Drafting's more prevalent. So drafting is when, in a group of cyclists and you get into that draft zone behind somebody, it has to be, I think the rule is 20 feet or 20 meters, whatever the distance is, and people are encroaching in that distance and then cycling together as a pack. And you can do that as long as there's no referees coming. It's illegal. You're breaking the rules. But if you don't get caught, there's no referee there, then what's the hurt, right?
Except for the fact that you will pay for that.
You will pay for
because every
that.
action
Right.
gets an equal and opposite reaction.
Exactly.
So you cheat, you will be cheated.
Right. And the way that I race, I purposefully, I guess I don't purposefully, I race the way...
You race honest.
I race honest. And got caught up in this pack of 8 cyclists, and they kept biking together, and some of them were newbies, I could tell. Some just from their road bikes and the way that they were, cycling, I can tell that. So give them the benefit of the doubt, and the pack is together, and so I surge past the pack and past 8 cyclists, and that's a match burned, got to push past them, and then recover. So I settle back into my my
so
target.
what is that? What kind of effort are you putting out? Give people like you're above your FTP at that point.
Yeah, so well over my FTP,
which is not ideal.
It's certainly not ideal. Maybe for 15 or 20 seconds at a time, a few times a race, but you really want to keep a steady flow.
And how many times did you have to do that, like surging past this
8,
pack?
10 times.
That's crazy. Super lame, people. I can tell you that Jody and I, on the way back from the swim, took a wrong turn, or maybe it was the right turn, so that I can tell you here that I saw one of those Pelotons. It was crazy. And the interesting thing about it was that nobody seemed to be trying to get out of it. Everybody seemed to be pretty settled into their Peloton.
There was no sense of urgency.
There was no sense of urgency.
Yeah.
And again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes in their mind, but the physical action that I saw is that they were just in a tight little pack. We saw a pack, probably about 30 riders. And Ben, our other athlete, he said he saw several packs like that. Big packs of cyclists.
I didn't see a referee all day. And I was towards the front of the pack. I was towards the front of the race, which is where the spots are normally allocated, the top 10, top 15, top 20. So
And you're in the front end of the pack.
The front end of the pack. So you would assume that referees would want to be up there, more is on the line, I guess you could say. But I didn't see a referee at all throughout the whole day.
So what happened? You got caught up in it.
So I got caught up in it. I tried it 3 times, 3 times surging past, and then they would all come past me, and they'd come past me in really close to each other. And then they would just settle back into their same spot. Like there was no shift in the organization. And I think it was the 4th or 5th time, as I was going past them, I'm like, come on, guys, like, you gotta move. You gotta, separate here.
Were you channeling Allie Brownlee?
I was. I actually was.
He would not have stood for that.
Him. No, I was getting pissed.
Actually, Daniel, vegan pirate athlete, said he saw you at one
Daniel
point.
caught me at the... Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, but you were yelling at the pack. Which, you know what? I don't know if I don't know if it's such a bad thing for you to express that fire a little bit.
No,
I think it's a good thing.
Well, that's what I was talking about when I worked on a lot this year, and I think vocalizing things is good. And actually, there was one woman in the pack who... She was racing the same pace as me, so we were actually working well together. We were keeping the distance. I would pass her, she would pass me. We were actually together for a little while. And then she passed me one of those times when I had to fall back, and she said, I'm trying. And I was like, I know, just keep working hard. But I only did that once, and I caught myself. I'm like, why am I getting caught up? Like, they don't need to do anything. It's all me.
Right. So let's move into even a deeper level of this. So you could be the victim here. They're wrong. I'm right. And because of that, I didn't get the spot that I wanted because I was pushing well past my FTP. I was not able to follow my plan because people were cheating. And so it will put you into this victim stance, which is like the most powerless place that you can be. And I'm assuming that was available for you. What's your mindset around what happened? You're talking about momentum. You're talking about moving forward towards your goals. What's your mindset around what happened? How did you get out of the victimhood, or are you sitting in it now?
No, certainly not sitting in it. A couple years ago, I probably would have. No, I think long time ago, I would have been caught up in this. But I think 2 important things here are, 1, detachment of the experience. This is a one-time experience. This just happened in one point in time, in one race, in all the Ironmans in the world. Like, this is what happened to me, and it may happen again. I'm not going to attach to this experience. It came and went. That's it. Okay. Number 2 is I need to be stronger on the bike. I need to be able to hold the ability to surge past cyclists and be able to hold it. Because the final time I did pass these guys, not the final time, the last effort I gave, I really wanted to push past them and hold on. And I even looked back and I had put some distance in them, but I was pushing well over FTP, trying to hold that. I was like, I've got like 8 miles to go. I can do this for the rest of the race. No, that's not possible, as I proved to myself. But it goes to show that I need to be stronger on the bike. Like, I need to control the things I can control, and that's being stronger on the bike. Coming out in the swim earlier, sooner. So I have that ability to be at the front of the pack and have the space between cyclists. And to be smarter about it. Like, maybe to fall back for a while, keep my watts in check. It might be a little bit less than I anticipated, and then just surge for the last 10 miles. That probably would have been the smart thing to do. So yeah, the victim mentality shows up, and for me, it probably showed up for a brief moment, a few seconds, if that. Oh man, I shift so quickly though. I shift so quickly now into the solution energy. This, like, what can I do in this moment to keep it moving? And I know that I've got some things to still work on. And all that happened in this experience with the drafting is it just gave me some feedback into what I need to work on. How great is that? What a gift. Now I know what I need to do in the bike. If you look at the way my day went, I was 15th out of the water, 30th off the bike, and then 11th on the run. So if you get the bike to where I should be, which is, 2 or 3 spots maybe out of the water, 4 or 5 spots, you put me from 15th down to 10th, and then you put me into that top 5. So it really was a great, it really offered me some good insight into what I've done this season and what I need to improve on for next year.
And if you're going to race a flat course and you're going for the podium, you need to be stronger and smarter, I guess you could say, about your bike strategy, because
absolutely,
those flat courses, this is how it is. This is how people race. They race in these packs. And we have a dear friend of ours who you were asking about Ironman Texas, I think maybe like last year, and this person said to you, BJ, the way you race, like an honest race, it's going to be really tough for you to get a Kona spot because of all the drafting that's happening. So you can choose to avoid it, which I don't necessarily think is, because I think any kind of avoidance is a limit. You could avoid it, or you could go back and get stronger, get smarter, and play with it a little bit, and know that you're racing your truth, and that's all that matters.
Exactly. Yeah, it all comes back to you, or me.
Right.
It all comes back to us.
It's the mirror, baby. Right.
So what can I do? It's a great. I can't remember where we talked about this, but always flip it around. Have I ever been guilty of drafting? Have I ever been guilty of? Actually, no, I don't. I mean, I've never gotten a penalty, so I guess I haven't been guilty of it. But have I gotten into the zone a little bit? Maybe a little bit too long at times. But it's great to call yourself out on it and to be honest with yourself versus blaming other people. And that's the up level. That's where you're gonna change, and where change happens is where you align more with your end goal.
Right, and who you truly are is limitless. Who you truly are is unaffected by, pack rats. It's unaffected. If it's your day, it's your day. It doesn't matter if there's pack rats out there or not, if it's a flat or a hilly course, if it's a course that suits you or not. It doesn't matter. It's just that getting into that alignment of that day that's going to get you where you want to go. And until then, keep working your ass off.
And that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so what's next?
Mendocino 50K.
I feel like this is really good. I feel like it's gonna put you into a playground a little bit, and I think you've been so focused. Sometimes we get so focused we can start to strangle our goal a little bit, and I think that I feel intuitively that this is a really great thing for you to pull back, have some playfulness, and crush it. Like, I really think you're gonna totally crush it. So Mendocino 50K.
And then I'll find a 70.3 somewhere. Not quite sure where yet. And then Ironman Mount Tremblant in August. That's the goal. I'm probably not going to do any Ironmans until that
awesome.
one.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. This is amazing. I really hope that people took something from this. You guys let us know what you want more of. Questions, guests, topics. We're all about it. Thank you so much for your support.